Alright guys, before I start the video, I just want to give a huge shout out to CardMechanic for actually letting me come over on the channel and show you guys a very neat trick. So if you guys want to see his video, you guys can click the link above and it's going to direct you over to my channel where you can see his performance. But anyways, it's a pretty cool trick that we both kind of made some variations for, and I think you guys will really like this trick. So again, thanks again to CardMechanic for having me come over on this channel and show each and every one of you guys a super cool card trick. So without further ado guys, this is how the trick is going to look. Alright, so you basically just start off the trick by having the spectator go ahead and shuffle up perhaps a borrowed deck. It really doesn't matter because the trick is random. You can use any deck and the spectator can choose any card. So you'd start it off by showing them whatever card they picked. In this case, let's say the ace of spades. So super easy to remember. Let's say the spectator chooses the ace of spades. And throughout the performance of the trick, you're not going to know what the card they selected, okay? So, spectator chooses the card, you tell them, alright, go ahead and leave that on the table, and what I want you to do is, you're going to tell them, look, I'm going to turn my head around, I'm going to close my ears so I can't hear anything, I can't see anything, and what I want you to do is deal into two piles of equal value, of cards up to 10, so maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that, just less than 10, make sure they're even. And so at this point, you give the deck to the spectators. You tell them to deal out two piles, right? So let's say they go ahead and let's say they choose 8, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So at this point, once the spectator is done dealing the cards, they could tap you on the shoulder and whatnot, get you back, and you say, okay, so here are your two even piles. Why don't you just take one of them and then put them on top of your card, and then go ahead and take that pile actually and put that on top of the deck. And you want to sound super casual, like you're kind of just coming up with this on the spot, and then you say, okay, so you can grab the other pile, keep this in your pocket, or just put it somewhere else, right? And then at this point, what you do is you take the deck, okay, you take the deck here, and you say, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this behind my back, and you just kind of casually explain to the spectators, this is going to be your pattern, okay? So one way of doing this is you can tell the spectators, listen, so I'm going to stick this deck behind my back, and without looking at it, I'm going to try and feel the difference between a few of the cards, because, all the cards feel a little bit different, especially, once a spectator has chosen a card, sometimes it can feel just a little bit different than the rest of the cards, right? So all you're doing is just rambling on about this, but while you are talking, the deck is behind your back, and you're counting off and reversing the order of the top 15 cards. Now, something really cool that you can do if you want to make the trick even more, even more casual, you can take these cards, right? The spectator's card is obviously, X amount of cards down below from the top. You won't necessarily know because you don't know, the value of the packets, but you do know that it's not going to be more than 10. So what you can do is actually take around half of the deck or so, just like this, and you're going to do a false overhand shuffle by keeping the top stock of the deck. So this way it looks really casual. You take about half the cards, you take one or 3 cards or so, you in-jog them like this, come back, you cut the deck, and it's nothing big. So take at least half the cards, leave one card in-jogged so you have a break, funnel, just shuffle the rest of the cards on top, cut back to that break, and then from here you have the deck in the same order in the card exactly where you need it. Alright, so once you've done that, like I said before, you can do your pattern and whatnot, obviously before you count the cards. But essentially you're taking the cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The rest of the cards go on top. So that's all you do behind your back. You reverse the order of those cards. Now it's very important that when you are actually counting the cards behind your back that you speak loudly, because you don't want the spectators to hear this slapping that sounds, really methodical, like you're just counting the cards. You want them to virtually hear nothing as you're kind of, talking to the spectators. That way it seems like you're actually, trying to feel for the cards. And at this point, once you reverse the order of the top 15 cards, you come back to the spectator. You say, okay, so I don't think I quite know where the card is, but what we can do is, we can even make this a little more difficult. So why don't you take that packet that you counted earlier, put it on top, and let's see if maybe that will be able to help me a little bit more, right? So essentially, the only thing you actually have to do now is count 15 cards down from the top of the deck, and no matter what number the spectator chose to make the two piles, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be 15 cards from the top. So as you're talking to the spectator again, you say, all right, let's feel out some of these cards. And you're just kind of dealing them out, and to yourself, you're counting 15, right? So you've got 4 at this point, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you're performing this to the spectator, you're just kind of saying, this doesn't feel too good. Okay, not this one either. At this point, we're at 10 cards, and eventually you just kind of slowly go through, and you say 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 15th card is going to be the ace of spades, which is the spectator selection. When you come to this point, you can just kind of maybe push the card, twist it a little bit, and say, actually, this feels pretty spot on. You say, was the ace of spades your card, and you show it to the spectator. And it's a pretty simple trick. It's nice and self-working. You can take any deck from any spectator, have them shuffle it, have them pick the card, and it turns out to be their card every single time. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out CardMechanic's video on my channel as well if you guys want to see your YouTuber's video. But don't forget to check out my channel if you guys are interested. As always, thanks for watching.